In my past life, she wanted to marry the princess. So he poisoned me, his first wife, with his own hands. In this life, I have been reborn. But my gender has changed. I'll become the top scholar before he does. The princess fell in love with me at first sight. She insisted on marrying me. On the day of the grand wedding, she grabbed me, his eyes rimmed with red. Don't go. Come back with me, please. I sneered, how bold of you to harass a superior. Guards, take him down and give him 20 strokes. The moment I opened my eyes, I heard Xiao Xi's voice. Master, you're awake. Why is there a man in my room? Father hates unchaste women the most. I curled up at the head of the bed, trembling. To my surprise, father came in to comfort me. Sanlang, what's wrong? Did this sword manual startle you? Sanlang is physically weak. And he has just recovered from a serious illness. I told you to serve him well. Yet you've frightened him into a daze. What use are you all? Take them away and beat them to death. No. Spare us. I looked at my familiar yet strange father. I realized something. I reached for my chest, it was flat. I was reborn, but as a man. In my past life, father couldn't father a son. He loved us daughters with a passion. After I married, I was tormented to death by the He family. He didn't care at all. He just said I had a bad fate. Now that I've become Sanlang, he wears this completely different face. He'd kill people just because I'm sick for a few days. To save your life, I'd better recover quickly. I said weakly. Father, don't be so quick to punish them. My illness is no ordinary one. Last night, the ancestors scolded you in my dream for having no heir. And so they placed the blame on me. If I want to live, father must bathe and fast for 7 days to heal me. Father looked distressed. I'll go to the ancestral hall and plead with them immediately. Not a single grain of rice shall pass my lips. You are my lifeblood. As long as you are well, I will not just fast, but I would go through fire and water. If I had to. Father indeed took a leave of absence. He knelt in the ancestral hall for 7 days and nights. Whenever mother or the concubines brought me porridge, I would immediately feign a faint. I forced him to kneel on an empty stomach for the full 7 days. It was only then that I learned. I have a new name in this life, Shoha. Gu Shoha was written right in the center of the family tree. Grandmother said that my grandfather and father searched books for half a month and consulted a master before deciding on this auspicious name. In my past life, they called me Bainu, slave of the steel. My health improved day by day. But mother didn't assign me any chores. I didn't have to weave at home. Nor was I like I was after marrying. When I was ordered by my mother-in-law to do a servant's work, I was living the most leisurely days of my 2 lives. One day, while I was wandering in the garden, I ran into my cousin, Gu Xiaoming. In broad daylight, he was harassing a young maid. It was my personal maid, Xiao He. In my past life, Gu Xiaoming forced himself on Xiao He, leading her to throw herself into a well. I had gone to mother in tears. But she only sighed. Your father intends to adopt him as the heir. When you marry, you'll have to rely on him as your brother. She's just a maid. Forget it. Forget it? How could I? I stepped forward and slapped him. Gu Xiaoming didn't even dare to look up. He clutched his face and asked humbly, Brother, why did you hit me? I suddenly woke up to reality. I am a man now. I can be even more extreme. So I lunged forward and kicked him. You certainly are bold. How dare you harass a maid in this manner? If you can't control your urges, I'll cut it off. Father happened to pass by after the morning court. Gu Xiaoming clutched his crotch and wailed, Uncle. For no reason at all, my brother kicked me in the vitals. I fainted on the spot. You, how can you slander an innocent person? Father anxiously massaged my chest. I played along perfectly. It's okay, take it slow. Tell me what happened. He was harassing the maid. Gu Xiaoming wailed loudly. Is a maid worth all this? Since Shoha is here, you should have shown some restraint. After father gave him a stern scolding, he turned to advise me, she's just a woman. Something inside me snapped. Just a woman? So it doesn't matter if she throws herself into a well? It doesn't matter if she's beaten to death by her in-laws? Are women really that lowly? Only men are valuable, right? Fine. Then I will use a man's identity to destroy men. Cousin didn't just try to take my maid. He also said I'm sickly and won't live long. That this Marquis manor will be his sooner or later. Telling me to know my place. Gu Xiaoming was shocked. When did I ever say that? But a slap had already landed on his face. My father was trembling with rage. Your father died early. So I cared for you like my own son. Yet you harbor such thoughts, cursing your brother to an early death. You are truly malicious. The matter indeed blew up. My father wanted to cut ties with Gu Xiaoming. No more contact. Grandmother tried to mediate. But I just kept coughing. Mother wailed, saying my illness was due to a curse he cast. They didn't find any curses. But they found that over the years, he had been stealing from our family storehouse. Father recovered the money. He kicked my cousin out and praised me for being a promising youth. Shoha is indeed thoughtful. Otherwise, I would have been fooled by that beast. He immediately sent a memorial, asking the emperor to officially decree me as the heir, cutting off everyone else's ambitions. And so, the eldest daughter of the Gu family, whom anyone could trample upon, transformed into the young Marquis Gu. That night, someone crawled into my bed. I screamed in terror, but my mouth was covered. Heir, don't be afraid. If you are angry, it's me, Xiao He. I lit a candle. She had stripped down to her undergarments, clutching her chest and trembling. Although there was nothing about her I hadn't seen, I still righteously looked away. What are you doing? The madam sent me to serve you. I don't need you to. Xiao He cried even harder. What did I do wrong? Tell me, master, I'll change. Don't send me away. A maid sent to be a concubine, if rejected by her master, can never show her face among the servants again. It's not your fault. I am impotent. I am weak and sickly. If we actually, I might actually die. If you like it here, then stay. Tell everyone that you are my head maid. In a few years, when you are older, I'll find you a good marriage. It's okay if you don't want to marry. I'll take care of you for life. I only see you as a sister. Xiao He stopped crying. She looked at me with tearful eyes. Young master, you are so kind to me. Silly girl, it's because I'm your miss. With Xiao He's meticulous care, my body improved day by day. One day, father came to my room. Your health has improved lately. It's time for you to return to school. I, who was embroidering, pricked my finger. What? Me, study? I know it's hard for you. But you can't stay home every day, doing needlework like a common woman. You are the heir of the Gu family. What would people think if word got out? In my past life, father didn't let a sister study. He said a woman's virtue lies in her lack of talent. But when I married the top scholar, he despised me for being illiterate. He soon brought home a courtesan, claiming she was a rare talent. He showered her with affection. That's when I realized I had been fooled. So, studying is actually a good thing. If you don't want to go, it's fine. Just stay home and rest. I'll go. Of course I'll go. Everything a man can do, I will do better. Father used his connections to get me into the Imperial Academy. I was ravenous for knowledge. Soon, I went from the bottom of the class to the top. Lin Jiaxu asked me, why are you so serious? Even if you don't take the exams, as an heir, you'll still inherit your title. You'll get a position in court anyway. Why act like one of those scholarship students? I have entered the academy. As a student, I should do my duty and study hard. What does that have to do with who I am? Lin Jiaxu laughed. You're such a nerd. But he smiled, seeing my pure intentions. A true gentleman. When the chancellor heard about this, he declared me a true gentleman. My good reputation soon spread throughout the capital. I became the golden child others were compared to. I can only say that an honest and hard-working man, compared to a group of peers who only play cards, stands out very easily. Unfortunately, my joy didn't last long. She arrived in the capital. Everyone said he was exceptionally talented. A top candidate for the exams. That's right. He indeed becomes the top scholar, and catches the eye of the princess, eventually giving me a cup of poisoned wine, to end my life. So in this life, I must not let him have his way. She is currently a commoner. If he doesn't become the top scholar, he won't be able to rise to power, so I have to outrank him. But I'm no match for him yet. Luckily, I know someone even more talented. I called Lin Jiaxu, and we went to Tianxiang brothel together. The young marquis doesn't care for ordinary girls. Madam, bring out Inger. Inger is very proud. She's already booked by a great talent. She stepped out from behind the screen. He greeted me politely. I have long heard of the young marquis's fame. Meeting you today. You are indeed handsome. And as elegant as a jade tree. I looked at his face. For a moment, I was dazed. She had long been involved with the courtesan. I didn't know this when I was confined to my room. I thought he truly loved me. Shortly after our marriage, he brought the courtesan home. The courtesan was very insightful, and planned everything for him. But in the end, she didn't meet a good end either. Thinking of this, I pulled out a banknote, and slapped it onto his face. 1,000 gold. She was humiliated. His face turned bright red. The heir's talent is not inferior to mine. Why rely only on gold and silver? Why not exchange poems with me? It would be more fair. I pulled out a few more banknotes. I showered 2,000 gold over his head. Fair and just? When I was a woman, you bullied me with all your might. Just because you're talented, I have to duel with you? You're not worthy. A cold voice came from behind the curtain. Master a poem worth 2,000 gold. Can you really not compose it? She didn't dare offend me after all. The heir is sincere. I will not stand in the way. The madam beamed as she led me into the courtesan's room. The courtesan was proud. I don't like bullies. Young master, don't waste your effort on me. Even if you spend a fortune, I will not sleep with you. I fell to my knees with a thud. Miss Wenming. I'm not here for pleasure. I'm here for your guidance. Si Wenming was greatly surprised. She stepped around the screen. How do you know my real name? I not only know your name, but I also know you are a rare literary talent. I want to be the top scholar. I want to be a high official. I want to be the chancellor. Please, take me as your student. I performed the full kowtow. Si Wenming was completely bewildered. So you spent 2,000 gold, just to have me tutor you? To help you become the top scholar? Are you just amusing yourself at my expense? Of course not. I know you are expensive. If this money isn't enough, I'll go home and get more. Ha! I've been a courtesan for many years. Yet I've never seen such a strange thing. Please. I bowed deeply again. Fine. Si Wenming helped me up. I am a lowly person, and dare not receive such respect from the air. If you want to learn, I will help you. From then on, I studied by candlelight every night in the brothel. Everyone thought I was conquering Si Wenming in bed. In reality, she was conquering me with a ruler. But it was all worth it. I took first place in the spring examinations. I was handpicked as the top scholar. I had surpassed He. After becoming the top scholar, the first person I went to see was Si Wenming. She was genuinely happy for me, but a trace of sadness crossed her face. If even I could pass, how much more so for her? Yet she could only play and sing for others in a brothel. Come with me. You shouldn't waste away in this place. Si Wenming shook her head. I am of low status. It's the same everywhere. Then come to my home. I understand your intentions, heir. But if I follow you, it might ruin your reputation. I lifted my robes and knelt down. I have 3 good-for-nothing brothers at home. They need your guidance. Si Wenming's expression shifted rapidly. So, you really redeemed me. Just to be a private tutor for your family? Teacher, stay at my home for now. Once I arrange things, I'll set up a school for you. Then you can openly accept students. Men and women are kept separate, which prevents girls from going to school. If a talented woman like you could teach at the academy, as a teacher, then all women could take the imperial exams. Si Wenming was stunned. Then, she bowed deeply to me. I thought you were just a patient customer, who saw studying as a form of flirtation. I didn't realize you were a true gentleman. I escorted Si Wenming out, only to run into He. Inger, come with me. I placed 3rd in the exams. I can take you home now. I held Si Wenming's hand firmly. She's not going with him. In the past life, she redeemed her, only to make her perform for his guests. He even tried to send her to some lord's bed. Si Wenming refused to the death, finally jumping into the river with her jewelry box. Before she left, she asked me to write her spirit tablet, and burn some incense for her. She begged me not to forget her. She shouted, Young Marquis Gu, we love each other. You cannot force her. True. No one can force me. Si Wenming looked at me with a smile. Young Marquis, let's go home. She never expected that not only would he lose to me in the exams, but also in love. Why? Has your heart changed in just a few days? He even beats you every night. The rumors are flying all over the capital. Is the loving man you wished for actually just the high status of the Gu family? Si Wenming's face paled. Say whatever you want. Regardless, the young Marquis is the best man I've ever met. That night, Master, my classmates teased me for having secret hobbies, saying Si Wenming and I were a match made in heaven of abuse and acceptance. I stepped outside to get some air. She chased after me. May I ask how I have offended the young Marquis? You've seemed to dislike me since we first met. If I've done something wrong, please tell me, young Marquis. In the night breeze, he lowered his eyes, looking innocent. In my past life, I was fooled by this very face. I took a sip of wine, and beckoned him over. Want to know? The wind blew by. She approached me, defenseless. I kicked him straight into the pond. A man's body is really useful. Even for someone like me, who is just a weak scholar. It's still easy to kill someone if I want to. I looked down and enjoyed the sight of him struggling in the water. I left, satisfied by his cries for help. You might have the talent to place 3rd, but Sanlang's heart is much harder than Sanyang's ever was. In my past life, if I heard I'd be a widow, I would have definitely cried. Now, making him a widow is exactly what I want. Unfortunately, she is tough to kill. He was saved by a passerby. How could Master He fall into the pond for no reason? I hid behind the crowd, waiting expressionlessly for him to name me. However, he just gave me a deep look, and said nothing. The emotion in his eyes made my skin crawl. From then on, she sent me trinkets every day. Food, drinks, and daily necessities. All very expensive, all things I like. He remembers. He actually remembers. My son is indeed extraordinary. To be so liked by the ladies. Father picked up a jade butterfly from the table. Which lady left this here? Should we bring her home? This was our token of love in our past life. It wasn't expensive, but because he gave it to me, I cherished it truly. Father had once forced me to marry him for it. So, if the genders are reversed, this jade butterfly is just for a woman to be brought home. A woman whose name isn't even worth mentioning, just a thing for a woman. No need. You already have an official position, and you're the top scholar. It's time to get married. I will choose a good match for you. How about that? No need for parents' orders. Or matchmakers' words. I've suffered before. I don't believe in this old man. Today, I am the eldest legitimate son. The young Marquis. The top scholar. I refused firmly. Though he was unhappy, he swallowed his pride. Good. I hope when he takes his last breath, the old man will be just as obedient. I began practicing archery, because the autumn hunt is approaching. It was during the autumn hunt that she saved the princess. The princess fell in love and wanted to marry him, which led to my death. I didn't agree to this marriage before, and I still don't agree now. The difference is, this time I have a bow in my hand. Swoosh. Right in the bull's eye. Regardless of whether he remembers or not, I'm going to turn their wedding upside down. I've already pulled some strings in advance. Xiao personally offered half price at the princess's place. Halfway there, we truly encountered a fierce tiger. Awe and chaos broke out. I drew my longbow from within the crowd. An arrow struck the Hu Yan straight on. The tiger was enraged, roaring as it charged toward me. My horse went wild, throwing me from its back. As the bloody jaws drew nearer, at that critical moment, a figure tackled me down, rolling a few times, evading the tiger's fangs. Immediately, I saw you ruling, pinning the tiger into a hedgehog. Sanyang. He pulled me up, anxiously brushing the weeds from my hair. I was limp with fear, allowing him to embrace me. My heart was pounding rapidly. Was it from the fright? He made me snap back to reality. I gripped his sleeve. Back in our past life, when we were inseparable, I loved clutching his sleeve the most, because I had gotten lost as a child. I was always fearful. When Hishi found out, he said that as long as I held his sleeve, I would never be lost again. I pulled my hand back, but it was too late. He saw it. He wasn't just saving me. After the flower festival, he had been suspicious of me. Every gift thereafter was merely a test. Until he called out Sanyang, provoking such feminine behavior from me. He confirmed it. He confirmed who I was, Sanyang. He disregarded decorum, lightly resting his hand behind my neck, tugging on the end of my hair. Long time no see. But it was too late. A cold, deep voice echoed from behind us. Was this set up by young Marquis Gu? Heshi's face changed instantly. The princess stepped out of the carriage, looking our way. Only this time, she was looking at me. I grabbed his wrist and threw it aside, rising to brush off my robes. Carrying my longbow, I walked to the woman and knelt. Greetings, princess. I was born into a noble family, with both status and a handsome face. Perhaps because in my past life I was a woman reborn as a man. My features were excessively delicate and refined. The princess looked at me with great interest. Before long, rumors spread in the capital. The princess intended to choose me as her husband. Truly, whoever saves her, she shall marry. How ridiculous. Compared to the festive atmosphere in the residence, I, the person involved, remained utterly indifferent. The spy I sent to the He residence reported that Hishi's mother had arrived in the capital, and had even received a title. This mother-in-law of mine probably thinks her golden days are yet to come. I sought out her maid, Suiqing, and asked her to deliver a message to the old madam. If successful, I would find a way to secure a good future for you. Suiqing suddenly looked up. Really? Do I look like the type to lie? Suiqing was a servant of the He family, originally serving as Hisu's mistress back home, soothing his desires while he studied by lamplight. But when Hisu became an official, Suiqing's status was no longer sufficient. The old woman of the He family treated her harshly, deeming her not presentable enough, always keeping her as a slave. She wasn't even given the status of a concubine. At 25 or 26, they wouldn't let her go, keeping her by their side to serve daily, under the guise of being used to her. I found it strange. That old hag knows, huh? Once a girl has lost her maidenhood, who else can she marry? Her son needed someone to warm his bed, and she simply claimed she was someone else's daughter. Shameless. Mo Laoyu is exactly such a shameless wretch. Suiqing was very timid. I cannot do anything to betray the old madam or the young master. And what about them? They haven't done anything but betray you. Hishi vents his frustrations on you at night, but does he ever look at you with respect afterward? And even less so the old woman. Your life in the He family is already determined. When you grow old and can no longer work, will they still care about you? Suiqing's eyes were like a wounded herbivore. I don't need you to do much. You just need to go before the old madam, and fiercely denounce me. Say the princess was originally intended for the young master, but I not only stole the princess, but also the courtesan. Not only did I compete for women with him, but I also snatched his title as top scholar. I, young Marquis Gu, am a bully. Suiqing didn't understand, but she would do it. Even the most submissive woman wants to live a decent life. Not to be a beast of burden and end up alone, buried in a nameless grave after death. It's just that they can't even live a decent life. So they have to fight. I told my good-for-nothing father at home to host a flower viewing party, inviting all the noble ladies and the princess of the capital. Let's see the flowers at my home. My father beamed with joy, unaware that the real show was about to begin. Mo Laoyu, just as I expected, came dressed to the nines. Seeing me standing with the princess, she began making snide, sarcastic remarks. Young Marquis Gu is indeed as beautiful as a woman, quite dashing. Haha, Heshi, this third-place title should have been yours. I heard the little Marquis was frail and sickly from childhood, pampered and coddled, afraid even of the effort it takes to write. I wonder how he suddenly placed first in the exams. Are you implying that the examiner leaked the questions to me? I calmly lifted my eyelids. Cheating in the imperial exams is a serious matter. Madam M.O., it's best to have evidence before speaking. Otherwise, it might jeopardize Hisu's future. Heshi had already rushed over. Mother, what nonsense are you spewing? Mo Laoyu's expression sank. An old woman is just saying a few words. What of it? Was I not just about to offer my congratulations to the princess and the marquis? The two of you are such a talented and beautiful pair. And with this girl, Inger, this marquis mansion is full of such delicate charm. Is it not more beautiful than the flowers? What Inger? The princess perked up her ears. Doesn't the princess know? The little marquis is a bit of a romantic character, attracting the courtesan who broke her head to spend a night of passion with him. Oh, and this girl, Inger, even eloped with him, hidden away in the marquis mansion. When the princess marries in, she will have to address her as a sister. The princess's face turned ashen. Sanyang, is this true? I clapped my hands. Please, invite Miss Wenming in. Wenming, wearing simple clothes and a dress, was pure and ethereal, followed by my three younger sisters. In my past life, my second sister entered the palace, quickly dying from poison in the palace intrigues. My third sister married far away to Yiqing. We never saw each other again in this life. No word or sound. My fourth sister was given to Heshi after me, and because Heshi married the princess, she could only serve as a concubine. If I, the legal wife, suffered so much, what could her fate possibly be? But this time, the younger sisters were also reborn as younger brothers. They had no lewdness or desire in them, and under the tutelage of Wenming, they were all quiet and shy, talented young gentlemen. Miss Wenming was originally the daughter of a scholarly family, with a reputation for talent. It was under her guidance that I attained top honors in the arts. Inviting Miss Wenming to my home was also to educate my several good-for-nothing brothers. We have already opened a school at home, and all the descendants looked to Miss Wenming as their teacher. Wenming presented a painting of a beauty. Hearing the princess's beauty is unparalleled. I specifically made this painting of the Qishi moon worship to pray for her blessing. The princess appreciated her poem and painting, her brow smoothing out. What great talent this young lady has. Not losing to Sanyang. The student resembles the master. How could the master resemble the student? However, for the teacher to reside here is somewhat improper at the Marquis mansion. With her identity, I can brush off some rumors, but I fear it would disgrace the teacher, having people say we scholars don't recognize true talent. The princess nodded, writing a handwritten note to give to Jin Jiaoying, so that Miss Wenming could leave. Wenming was moved to tears, curtsying gracefully. Thank you, Your Highness. She had always wanted to be a respectable woman, but Heshi never gave her that. In the brothel, she was used by thousands, and at the He household, she still had to sell her beauty to earn a future for Heshi. Until the end, she remained a lowly servant, not even able to have a tablet in the He family ancestral hall. Never thought that what she wanted, the princess would grant her. The princess held her hand and said, since you can teach, why not open an academy? The men don't lack teachers, whereas women have nowhere to go to study. I have a quiet manner sitting idle. Just perfect for you to open your school. On the day the Shaoxiang Academy opened, my heart was filled with complex emotions. But it was far from enough. Heshi is only keeping his mother from going out and embarrassing him. How can that compare to the suffering I endured at his hands? I must add fuel to the fire to make him lose this official title. Suiqing kept stirring the pot in front of Mo Laoyu, saying that since the flower viewing party, I had been using my status to suppress Heshi, hindering his official career, driving Mo Laoyu half to death. Is there no way to get rid of that pretty boy? If the princess's husband were our son, what would there be to fear from young Marquis Gu? Mo Laoyu took the bait. No matter how noble the princess is, she is still just a woman. Follow the rooster if you marry a rooster, follow the dog if you marry a dog. Just get her to stay the night at the He residence. And once the deed is done, why would she not be obedient and submissive? Ha 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 ha. Because the princess often went to Shaoxiang Academy to visit Wenming, Mo Laoyu intercepted the carriage, blocking the road halfway. Before they even reached the He residence, I stopped them. The emperor was furious, daring to kidnap the princess in broad daylight. He immediately wanted to execute her entire clan. Madame Mo must have just wanted to invite the princess to the He residence for tea. Just a lack of proper manners in sending the invitation. Although she acted impulsively, at heart, she meant well. I calmly played down the matter. The emperor calmed down, knowing it couldn't be ruled as kidnapping. In his heart, though the princess is noble, she is still a woman. But the emperor's daughter must be protected from scandal. However, Madame Mo treated her servants very harshly, not only failing to release them at the right age, but also apparently beating one or two to death. Such misconduct, according to the current laws, should be punished with exile. The emperor was very satisfied, and following my suggestion, found a random excuse to throw Mo Laoyu into prison. Of course, she really did beat servants to death, because that servant was pretty, and she suspected her of seducing her precious son. Suiching told me this while crying. Mo Laoyu's title was naturally revoked, and she was exiled to the suburbs to do forced labor. Half a year later, He went out of the city, and I followed him from a distance. I saw him holding a bowl of medicine as he walked toward his mother. Mo Laoyu's belly was heavily distended. She loved to scold young women for seducing men, calling them shameless wretches. This time on the construction site outside the city. She must have seduced many men, right? Your hometown even erected a monument for your virtue. How could you? You are a widow. How can you betray father like this? Betray me? He roared in a low voice. No, it's not me, it's not me. The construction site is full of laborers, full of base and robust criminals. Without any entertainment, they were starved for women. She didn't even know who the father of her child was. Since things have come to this, drink this medicine quickly. He grabbed her chin and forced her to drink it. Just as Mo Laoyu had forced me in our past life. I was pregnant at the time. The princess bestowed poison, and I begged him to spare me for the sake of the child. But he laughed. Which woman doesn't have a child? He's legitimate son will be the emperor's own grandson. It's not your turn. Does being poisoned hurt? Now it's his turn. After He left, I emerged from the shadows, approaching her, looking down at her from above. Bloody clumps poured from her mouth. So, I looked this ugly when I died, too. It's you, she said, twitching. It is I, mother. I curled my lips up, looking at this woman I had tried so hard to please in my past life, serving her as if she were my own mother. She didn't know why I called her that, but she hated me. You were the one who poisoned me in the sun. Do you think He wants you to live? You made him lose all his dignity, almost getting his entire clan executed. His future is completely destroyed. Your most beloved son wants your life more than anyone. Mo Laoyu stopped struggling, a line of blue tears sliding from her eye. Mo Rongrong, you think that by giving birth to a son, raising him to be talented, waiting until the daughter-in-law becomes the mother-in-law, you can finally sit back and enjoy being the matriarch? You'll never make it. New daughter-in-law, old mother-in-law. Virtue or lack thereof is all just walking on a tightrope. One wrong step, and it's a bottomless abyss. You and I are both women. It's too easy to die. I stood still for a long time, raising my hand to close her eyes. Whose turn is next? The emperor eventually betrothed the princess to me. On the day of the wedding, He got drunk and ran to my door to cause a scene. Sanyong, don't marry her. He grabbed my collar, tears pooling in his eyes. I have you in my heart. I always have. I nonchalantly curled my lips. Let me tell you, after becoming a man, the deepest thing I've realized is that a man's heart is worthless. Look, I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. My father and mother treated me like the apple of their eye. If I sneezed, the whole Marquis mansion would shake. Grown up, I am a top scholar with a handsome face, seeing nothing but flames. Friends offer only superficial support. How many people admire me? When I ride into the arena, it's all just flattery and pleasantries. With everything I possess, how could you possibly deserve to feel that? If you offered me a sincere heart, I would be moved to tears? I smashed the jade butterfly in his hand, and trampled on it with my foot. Men are heartless, especially a wealthy person like me. We are experts at squandering things. He suddenly looked up. Then what are you squandering of me? I am willing. He approached me, his breathing heavy. Tonight, let us. How about it? I miss you. I leaned back. What kind of madness has possessed you? You still think I'll be with you? I shook my head, feeling uneasy about men's obsession with their desires. Before leaving, he grabbed my sleeve. Beware of the princess. Don't forget how long she has served you. I coldly shook off his hand. I didn't forget. That night, I didn't enter the bridal chamber. The princess sent someone to ask me. I had visited He Hanlin today before arriving at the mansion. I could see he still had lingering feelings for the princess. Although I am the royal husband, I don't want to be involved in the disputes of three people. Let us each live our own lives, with respect for each other. Just when I was worried about not finding an excuse, Heshi causing such a scene, meant I could blame everything on the princess, letting her taste the loneliness of an empty room. In my past life, she was with Heshi long before her affairs. Heshi grew distant from me. I don't even know why, waiting night after night in vain. Now it's his turn. Another month later, the princess went to the Daxiang temple to pray. The Daxiang temple is a place where fish and dragons are mixed. A perfect place to strike. While she was chanting scriptures, I poisoned her tea. Blaming it on Heshi would be easy enough. Heshi, failing to improve, would surely take risks. After preparing, I arranged to meet Heshi. He had to have been here to be the scapegoat. I didn't expect Heshi to see through my plans immediately. Sanyang, have you gone mad? That is the princess. A princess's life is more valuable, but poison doesn't care. Ha ha ha. Send her down to accompany you as a pair of doomed lovers. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Heshi grabbed me and walked away. You said something about a secluded place to bide in? To outsiders, it will just look like the princess's monologue. The princess's affair exposed. Disappearing without a trace. I kicked him where it hurts. I am no longer that fragile girl. I have plenty of strength and means. Heshi didn't hold back either. We fought fiercely. In the end, I, the lifelong sickly child, lost. Pushed down the cliff by him. Damn it, I'm going to die again. I dreamed of the princess. She was still a little girl, crying in the imperial garden, cradling a dying butterfly in her hands. How did I dream of her? I heard my own voice. The voice of a naive young girl. Whose child are you? Why are you crying in the palace? If a noble sees you like this, you'll be punished. My older brother stepped on my butterfly. My nanny wouldn't save it. She just wanted to throw it away. The princess was very heartbroken. I found some honey water for the butterfly, but it still died. I found some glue, and pasted the butterfly onto paper, turning it into a specimen. Now you can take it back. Sister, you are so kind. The princess lifted her face, eyes shining. Sister, what is your name? I felt ashamed of my own name. The elder daughter of the Gu family. I am the elder daughter of the Gu family. Sister, can you come to the palace to visit me often? My brothers are very mean. They bully me, and the queen and nanny only tell me to follow the rules. I don't want to play with them. I smiled noncommittally. I'll come when I have time. However, is the palace a place you can just visit whenever you want? I never saw her again. The scene shifted, and I saw the grown-up princess, sitting with a jade butterfly. Princess, it's time to rest. Tomorrow is sister's birthday. I must get this to her. I looked at the incredibly delicate headpiece. My heart gave a sudden jump. This was a gift from the princess, not from Heshi. In my past life, I mistook his sincerity for this piece, and chose him as my husband. Was I wrong all along? Looking at the wall full of butterfly specimens in front of the princess, my heart pounded like thunder. The scene shifted back to the room where I died. The door swung open, and the princess, dressed in her phoenix coronet, rushed in. But my body was already cold. Why didn't you wait for me? He asked in a low voice. Maids hurried inside, carrying mercury and needles. He gently wiped the blood off my face, and began to stitch. His eyes filled with a dark, obsessive intensity. We will be together forever. Sister, is this real? The jade butterfly was from the princess, and it was the princess who prepared my body for the afterlife. Yet, due to a cruel twist of fate, I had married Heshi. Everything was too chaotic. I suddenly opened my eyes, coming face to face with a pair of clear, gentle eyes. Sanlang? The princess whispered. After I went missing, the princess had turned the Daxiang temple upside down, and when she couldn't find me, she came down the mountain. She ventured deep into the cliff alone, and finally found me unconscious. How did you fall? My mind was in turmoil, not knowing what to say. Could I tell her I wanted to poison her to frame Heshi, but ended up being pushed off the cliff by him instead? Sending guards down would have been enough. Why did you come down yourself? I was worried about you. The princess lowered her gaze. For mobility, she wore a narrow-sleeved riding outfit, embroidered with cloud patterns on the sleeve guards, looking exceptionally heroic, and deeply reserved. I had always wondered. I had only accidentally saved the princess once in the past. How did I deserve such devotion from her? I looked at the princess's martial skills. Surely she could have dodged it even without me. The princess's face flushed red. You don't remember the things from when we were young? My heart skipped a beat, recalling that dream. You mean when I helped you make butterfly specimens? Yes, the princess's eyes sparkled. I knew then that Sanlang was the most gentle person. I fell silent. In both past and present, regardless of gender, I had been so diligent, and only had that one encounter with the princess. Could it be that when she married Heshi before, it wasn't because he had saved her, but because she was looking for me? I couldn't enter the palace, and she couldn't leave it. So she married him even knowing he had a wife, all for the sake of, A bolt of lightning struck my mind, just as I saw the princess reach for a water bag to drink. Wait, the water is poisoned. But when I snatched it away, I smelled a strong aroma of alcohol. What is in here? It's just the wine I brought. The princess looked embarrassed. Only then did I notice the faint scent of wine on her. You're just drinking wine? She looked up with shimmering, watery eyes. You ignore me. And my heart is full of sorrow. So I got used to drowning my sorrows in wine. My first reaction upon hearing this was relief. At least she's a drunkard. Otherwise, I would probably be dead by now. I'm not as good as you think. I know you have a kind heart, having saved so many people. Ha ha ha, Xiao He, Wen, Ming, the young girl, Suiching from the Marquis Manor. They all like you. Where did you see that? No reason. She blinked slowly. Can I ask you a question? I already sensed it, you can ask. Do you like men? I see you with he and she. Stop talking nonsense. It's absolutely disgusting. Every time I think about how I got even the love token wrong, I want to knock my past self out, and force him to use his brain. Suddenly, the princess leaned in close, her wine-scented breath brushing my ear. If you don't like them, and you don't like men, then why don't you want to share a bed with me? I knew I would have to face this eventually. I said fearlessly, Your Highness, forgive me. Am I impotent, is that it? As soon as I finished, long, slender fingers grabbed me. She chuckled softly. Doesn't seem like it. I never expected Yuan Mingyue to be such a bold woman. She looked at her hand, and gave me a faint smile. Doesn't this work? Seeing my expression change, her eyes lit up. Could it be that Sanling is? Clueless about the ways of men and women? Don't come any closer. I had nowhere to retreat. I know how it works, but I cannot accept that I am currently a man. I am a true man with a woman's heart. Yuan Mingyue wiped her hands clean, and gently stroked my face, blushing as she said, Sanling, if you're shy, I can leave. What is that? What nonsense is she talking? Even though she was dressed in a way that looked long and tall, she was quite bold, but without a word, she unbuckled my belt, and blindfolded me. Don't move. In the darkness, my chin was lifted. Yuan Mingyue, where did you learn this? Taught by the nannies in the palace. Well, you are truly gifted. Does Sanlang like it? It's still early, I think. Oh, I don't care what you think. I care about what I think. Don't you know how sore my back is? I'm sorry. Can I hold you for a while? Sanlang, Sanlang, Sanlang. Stop calling out. Then what should I call you? Your Highness. My breathing became ragged for a moment. Yuan Mingyue, I just called you Your Highness. Where did this wind come from? Brother, say it a few more times. Lying in Yuan Mingyue's arms, I thought that the cup of poisoned wine in my past life must not have been given to me by this woman. Perhaps that day, all she had on her mind was consummating our marriage. That left only one person as the true killer. As Mo Rongrong wished, I began setting traps for Hishi everywhere. When Hishi saw me and Yuan Mingyue acting in perfect harmony, he realized that I already knew everything. That cup of poisoned wine had come from him, falsely attributed to Yuan Mingyue, and delivered through the hands of Mo Rongrong. He saw that I was doing well, and afraid, he wanted to shift the blame. But he never expected that he would smear the one person least likely to harm me. At this point, I was the heir to the Marquis Manor, a respected scholar. He didn't dare to confront me directly, so he made the left minister his patron. The left minister was my father's rival. My father was pacing in circles. That Hishi is truly wicked. How does he know so many of my secrets? Of course, you told him yourself, my dear old father. A daughter of the Gu family is someone else's person, but a son-in-law is only half a son. The way you supported Hishi back then is how it has turned into a knife at your throat today. The emperor is already dissatisfied with me. If he were to file another report, I don't know what would happen. The North has just come out of war. Father, why not request to be posted abroad as a pacification envoy? It would help share the burden for the emperor and accumulate some merit. Shutting the mouths of Hishi's faction, father listened to me and requested a post abroad. Though he is a scoundrel, he did achieve some results. As he was returning in triumph, I went out of the city quietly to intercept his procession. Father now has great merit, solving the worry of the court. But one day he will become a great threat. What should be done then? If father were to die on the way back from his triumph, it would be completely different. I drew my blade. Father died for the country, and no matter what he did wrong before, the emperor would not hold him accountable. After all, the deceased are paramount. This way, our entire Gu family can be preserved. You wicked son, you want me to die? This is a necessary sacrifice for the entire family. I repeated his favorite line. I was tormented to death by the He family. And father, for the sake of the family's reputation, turned a blind eye. My second sister was sent to serve the 46-year-old emperor at 16. That was family glory. Even dying in the deep palace was worth it. as it brought honor to the family records. My third sister married He Qing far away, even attaining the status of a princess. As long as the emperor is happy, how could he, as a minister, care about his own flesh and blood? My fourth sister was a concubine, securing the former son-in-law, and the new prince consort was of great help to his career. The entire family is just him alone. He sucked the blood of everyone, rose to power, and passed this authority to the next man. In the past life, it was Gu Xiaoming. What about this life? Father, your living will only drag down the whole family. Better to yield your position to him, and let your son become the head of the house early. A prince consort, inheriting a second-rank marquis title. If combined with a father who died for the country, I dare not even imagine how prominent our Gu family would be. Ha ha ha. Doesn't father love his son the most? Could it be that it was all just talk? For the sake of the son, for the sake of the future generations. Father, can't you just die early? You monster. Father smashed everything. You are insane. How many of your own daughters have you killed? I stood up straight and held that dagger toward my bewildered father. You have to agree whether you want to or not. And if you don't agree, you'll still have to. I just came to tell you. Not to discuss it with you. Why make such a scene? Is it dignified? Fire started rising behind me. I rushed out of the tent, locking him inside alone, ignoring the roaring flames. Just like the way I used to run home time and again, and kneel to beg him for the things he did. I watched the sunrise, listening to his wailing and crying, until there was finally no sound left. Burning to death is not a pleasant experience. Father and son at last. I left him the dagger. This is a son's filial duty. After father passed away, I performed the funeral rites, and cried my heart out. Then I reported Hishi to the emperor, demanding he pay with his life, because according to my investigation, it was Hishi who sent someone to set the fire that night. The left minister's faction feared my father's increasing merit, so they acted first, and Hishi was their vanguard. No amount of arguing was of any use. I visited the Dali temple. When I saw him, he was already covered in blood. I really didn't expect you to be so cruel. You even dared to harm the old marquis? A man must be ruthless. I wore a flowing robe, with a jade belt around my waist, wrapped in a thick dark cloak, my face buried in snowy white fox fur, colder than winter itself. What was reflected in his eyes was no longer the fragile, easily bullied Sanyang, filled with thoughts of love, but the Prince of Ronan, his formidable adversary. He looked terrified, but still roared at me. Aren't you afraid of karma? I'm just doing what you do. I tilted my head. You were a commoner, and even as a top scholar, you couldn't reach a high position. You knew that, so you first married me. Then you married the princess. Besides that, you had a Mo Rongrong behind you, guarding half your life, earning 3,000 for you, Suiching to give you comfort in the cold night. Oh, and Si Wenming. You even took him, and played with various seniors, to accumulate capital for you. That's how the Marquis manor and the official status came to be, right? If I hadn't stopped you, the left minister would have married his daughter to you too. I lifted his face with my sleeve. What a life spent clinging to women. My father wasn't much different from you. All four of us sisters were given to him, made into stepping stones for the Gu family. You stinking men, trapping women like scorpions in a jar, and now you dare to strike a righteous pose. When you poisoned me, weren't you cruel? When you forced me to jump into the river, weren't you cruel? When Suiching drowned in the lake, weren't you cruel? Are we supposed to die, is that it? Heshi wheezed and said, it has always been this way. You are truly wicked. Yes, I leaned back in my chair. I am determined to eliminate you parasites. These dogmen like vermin. But you have also become us. Heshi started laughing. I don't know what he's laughing at. I frowned and left. Give him another 50 lashes. They said after the lashes, Heshi died. I realized I really didn't care anymore. I had just taken office as the governor of Jingzhou, and there were endless affairs in the capital. Father was dead, and the household was in turmoil, but thankfully, everything survived. When spring arrived, Mingyue started presiding over the Zhongkue, and Si Wenming school enrolled a new batch of students. Xiaohe helped Mingyue. She was skilled with the abacus, keeping the shop in perfect order. Suiching married a young man she liked, and the couple worked together at the school. My mother became a widow, but she was no longer so stiff, studying Buddhism and fasting, visiting people everywhere, happier than when father was alive. You are the Marquis. Naturally, it's better than when your father was the Marquis, she said meaningfully. The concubines dared not make trouble in front of me again. I thought about it, and divided the property and land among the concubines, sending them all out of the house. If they want to remarry, let them remarry. I will give you a dowry. Looking at their pleasantly surprised expressions, I thought, I have finally found a way not to become them. There is no construction without destruction. I had destroyed their path. Now it was time to establish my own way. I served as governor of Jingzhou for 8 years, severing 80% of those connections. I was once impeached by the entire court, because the selling of women was a national source of tax revenue. I alone withstood all the pressure, making it so women in the capital did not have to sell themselves for taxes. I investigated the land grabbing of the noble families, making the national treasury more full than before. The emperor regarded me as a virtuous minister, and I entered the cabinet, pushing this decree to the whole country through debates. Besides that, I promoted women's education to be included in the Imperial Academy. The first batch of female officials entered the palace when I was 40, even though it was only to copy books in the study. But from then on, there were women among the flowing robes. The palace's crown prince also invited Si Wenming to teach the princes. In the decades I was in office, women no longer had bound feet or veiled faces. Princesses could go out riding. Women could even take exams. But there were also many who hated me. I moved the interests of the noble families, severing their beautiful connections. Assassins appeared on the courtly path, and they finally succeeded on Juke Avenue. The pain of death struck again. It hurt so much. Will I be a man or a woman in my next life? I couldn't help but think. Being a man is fine. I am still the same person. Just by changing my gender, I was able to ascend to high office, living a brilliant life. But just because being a woman is difficult, does that mean I should stop being one? If everyone in the world thought that way, this world would have perished long ago. What would be the difference between me and a coward then? The cries of women reached my ears. I heard Mingyue's. If I die, what will happen to them? Is everything I've done meaningful? I fell into a deep sleep filled with questions. Sister, wake up. Why has he fallen asleep again? I heard mother's voice. As the eldest, you lead the way in sleeping. What will your younger sisters think? Look at what kind of mess you'll become in the exams later. Teacher Wen won't punish you? I was pushed awake. In the classroom, I looked at the several younger sisters holding scrolls, then looked at Si Wenming on the podium, and subconsciously touched my chest. Female, huh? What are you doing? Mother pulled my hand down. The crown princess, Her Highness is here. Why are you still so undisciplined? Hurry, don't keep Her Highness waiting. Who is this crown princess? I walked out of the classroom, full of questions. Seeing in the spring breeze, Yuan Mingyue, standing tall and straight, under the peach blossoms. Want to go see the lanterns? She blushed and shoved something cold into my hand. It was a jade butterfly. I suddenly choked up. So it really did have meaning. What did you say? I clipped the jade butterfly onto my hair, held her hand, and walked away. There is still a long way to go. After 2 lifetimes of seeking, don't waste this good spring.